Microsoft wants you to build the next-gen Xbox. Here are some exciting updates coming to your Xbox console. What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we talk Xbox stuff. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about some job listings that popped up on the Microsoft website that have reignited the conversation about the next-gen Xbox. A cool Discord update that is being worked on in the insider rings. Some truly whack comments coming from a CEO of Take-Two Interactive. What has me excited and also worried about Game Pass for the rest of 2024. And whether or not Valorant is going to be the next big FPS on Xbox consoles. Now, conversations about the next-gen Xbox or Xboxes, depending on who you ask, has picked up heat over the past couple of months or so. Now, I'm totally down for that. A lot of people are like, no, I don't want a new Xbox. I just got my current Xbox. There are a lot of people who are of the opinion that nothing has really happened this generation, but I welcome all this discussion about next-gen Xbox consoles. I would much rather have that conversation versus, oh, Xbox is leaving hardware entirely. My most recent upload was centered around comments that Jez Corden made on the Xbox 2 podcast talking about a Series X successor and an Xbox handheld. And pretty much as soon as I uploaded that video, I saw these job listings on the Microsoft website, which seemed to be hiring roles specifically to work on this next-gen tech. Now, these job listings aren't all about Xbox. No, they're looking for software engineers, machine learning guys to work on Windows and other parts of the Microsoft business, but they're also specifically looking for people to join the Xbox graphics team. They're looking for engineers who are excited to work on state-of-the-art graphics, compressions, and emulation systems. Someone who would work closely with hardware engineers and game developers to help define the future of graphics and game development. They're also looking for people to join the Xbox video and audio team to work on low-level drivers and firmware interacting with state-of-the-art graphics, video hardware, audio, and associate hardware, as well as a variety of video and audio technologies, including, but not limited to, video and audio encode, and a ton of other stuff. And last but not least, they are looking for people to join the gaming machine learning team. And it's in this section that seems to place a pretty big emphasis on AI, not only to drive forward graphics, but also to implement in other avenues of gaming, it seems. We know that's something Xbox is definitely interested in. I don't know how that's gonna manifest exactly. They do mention that whoever joins this team and works on those kinds of projects, they would kind of be the pioneers of implementing AI into gaming. Again, depending on how it manifests, there's definitely going to be some mixed feelings about that. Now, for the majority of this stuff, I'm not even going to pretend to know what I'm talking about when it comes to what these roles require, the experience needed. I've never worked in game development. I think I've been pretty clear on that front. Looking for people to work on state-of-the-art graphics, that seems to be consistent with what Xbox leadership is saying. Oh, the next-gen Xbox is going to be this huge technological leap. Although in my previous video, me and Jimmy were kind of wondering how that is going to look like. I really don't know if there is a technological or a graphical leap that can occur that would make me go, whoa, that's the biggest leap ever. We're mostly hoping that it leads to improved performance, smoother frame rates, locked 60. There are a couple of buzzwords as well in some of these job descriptions, emulation being the one that sticks out to me. With all this talk about an Xbox handheld, people have been wondering, oh, is it going to run games natively? Is it going to emulate the Xbox or PC versions of the game? Me and Jimmy were talking about it last video, and he was theorizing no, it'd be like the ROG Ally X, and it would just be the PC version of the games running natively. So very curious as to see what that is all about. I don't know exactly how timelines work, especially when developing a new console, but there's a camp of people thinking that the next-gen Xbox is going to come out in 2026 and get a jump on whatever console PlayStation puts out, kind of like what they did with the Xbox 360. 2026 is coming up, and if they're still hiring people and exploring these avenues like AI that need pioneers, does it kind of throw the 2026 release date out the window? I'm not sure. This video is sponsored by Factor. So at the start of this year, I made a vow to myself, a New Year's resolution. I wanted to cut down on takeout pretty much entirely, or minimize it as much as I can. I started off really well. I got really good at cooking myself breakfast and cooking myself dinner. But for some reason, I kept dropping the ball on lunch. I would be shooting, I would be editing, and then by the time I knew it, it was already getting super late in the day, so I'd just be like, oh, let me go out and pick something up, something quick. And then I realized, hold on, this is defeating the whole purpose of the vow that I made to myself, not to eat out. Luckily, Factor has made it super easy to stick to my initial goal. They'll straight up deliver you meals that are ready to eat, never frozen, chef approved, And they taste really good too. Every week you get to choose from over 35 options, so chances are pretty dang good that you're gonna find something that suits your needs. Whether it's keto friendly, calorie smart, vegetarian friendly, Factor provides you with a ton of options to not only suit your needs, but to switch things up so things don't get stale. In the microwave, these can be ready in 2 minutes. In the oven, if you want to get fancy with it, it takes up to 7 minutes. And it's awesome because I don't have to worry about not only cooking, but cleaning up after and doing all that stuff. I get to eat and get back to my day. Factor also does a really great job of making sure that you have a properly rounded diet. Like these juices that they sent me make sure that I have a nice healthy dose of fruits and vegetables, which admittedly I sometimes neglect. They've helped me stay consistent, they've helped me save money because I'm not going out and spending crazy California prices on lunch every day. So if you want to check out Factor for yourself, go on over to factor75.com and use my code XboxReady for 50% off of your first Factor box and 20% off of your next box. Again, that's factor75.com and my code is XboxReady50, as in 50. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring this video. But before we get too worked up about the future of Xbox consoles, let's move on to something a little bit more tangible that we have to look forward to, an update coming to Discord on our Xbox Series X and S. This update to Discord is being worked on by insiders only right now, but in a couple of weeks when it rolls out to everyone, it's going to address some of the biggest limitations that Discord has on Xbox consoles. In order to explain what those limitations are and how this update is going to change that, let's break down the current state of Discord on Xbox consoles. In order to use Discord on your Xbox console, you go to the Parties and Chats tab in your guide, and then you'll see the little Discord icon with the words Talk and Stream. When you click on that, you'll notice that the only thing that you really have access to are the voice channels that are in any server that you're currently in. And that's about it. You don't have access to the other parts of that Discord. You can't initiate a private call on Discord from your Xbox. For that, you have to call up your friend and then swipe up and then hit transfer to Xbox. And while you can stream your gameplay to Discord so your friends can watch, you can't watch your friend's stream to Discord from your Xbox. It's all kind of confusing. But this latest update aims to change all of that and give us a more fleshed out, comprehensive Discord experience right on our Xbox consoles. The notes about the latest insider build that is being tested out say that you will be able to watch your friend's streams on Discord from your Xbox once this update rolls out. According to a press release from Discord themselves, if your friends are currently talking away or streaming their game in a Discord server's voice channel, that channel will now be shown in the Happening Now tab to the right of your friends list. The Xbox friends list will now include Discord friends who are gaming or chatting in Discord voice under Happening Now, alongside Xbox friends and parties or games. You can jump into a voice channel, watch a friend streaming, or initiate a call, all from your Xbox console. They go on to specifically say, now when your friends are streaming their games in voice, you can watch their stream directly on your Xbox Series X or S or Xbox One console. I think this is really cool for a number of reasons. In my personal opinion, I like Discord. I know not everyone feels that way. It's quickly become one of the de facto go-to ways to communicate with your friends while you're gaming or if you just want to hang out. And having that available on our Xbox consoles as an alternative, especially in this day and age when a bunch of games are crossplay, that's really clutch. And you can also make the argument that chatting on Discord with your friends is a lot safer because I don't know if Xbox monitors that. I don't think they do in the same way as they would with Xbox Party Chat or Game Chat. We know that Xbox has been banning people for super silly things, very small, trivial stuff. So it is nice to have an alternative option for communication when it comes to gaming that doesn't feel like Big Brother Xbox is watching over your shoulder. Once again, this is only available to a select number of Xbox insiders right now. But don't be surprised if you see some of these features popping up in the next couple of weeks. Next up, let's talk about Game Pass and what we have to look forward to there. I wanted to take a second to talk about what I consider to be a W in terms of Game Pass this month, the addition of the Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy. They added this game on August 8th. And while I've never been the biggest Crash Bandicoot fan, I played a few of the games back in the day when I was a kid, but I consider it a W because, well, it's going to be huge for people who are nostalgic for those games. In an age where people pump out some really lazy remasters, this trilogy was widely considered to be one of the better ones. And Crash Bandicoot games in the Game Pass library furthers the case that there's something for everyone on Game Pass. With the addition of this trilogy, you got some really solid platformers on there. But I am a little worried about Game Pass Pass for the rest of 2024. Mostly, I'm worried about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Indiana Jones was supposed to be one of the most anticipated day one additions for Xbox going into Q4. But we're in Q3, pretty close to Q4, and we haven't heard a peep about when this game is supposed to release. And I've been pretty patient. When they had Developer Direct back in January, they didn't have a release date for Indiana Jones. I was like, whatever. They say Q4, that's forever away. Surely we'll hear more about it once it gets closer to Q4. But now we're in August. We're like 2 months away from Q4, 4 months away from the end of 2024. I'm really getting nervous that they're going to delay this game as well into 2025. That doesn't mean that Xbox doesn't have anything to offer for the rest of the year. No, I'm really excited for Stalker 2, and Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is going to be massive. I wouldn't be surprised if come October, when Black Ops 6 launches, we see another record-breaking month for Xbox, similar to what we saw with Starfield. When Starfield launched and was added to Game Pass day one, according to Xbox, it led to the most amount of signups in a single day for Game Pass. The potential for Game Pass for the rest of 2024, it's still there. But knowing that Indiana Jones will have a firm date in Q4, that could take it from a pretty dang good rest of the year for Game Pass to an amazing one. But you know what's not coming to Game Pass day one? The next Grand Theft Auto, GTA 6. Now you might be sitting there like, duh, Ray, that would never happen. But that doesn't stop people from asking. GameIndustry.biz recently did an interview with Strauss Zelnick, who is a CEO for Take-Two Interactive. And they apparently spoke about Black Ops 6 coming to Game Pass day one and what that would do for Xbox. And he responded saying, oh, well, it'll push customers to the subscription service for at least a period of time, but they don't have any plans to do a similar thing with the Grand Theft Auto series. Because our decisions are rational. Whoa, like totally unnecessary, man. Like, okay. Sure, you have Grand Theft Auto, one of the most successful gaming franchises of all time, and hype for Grand Theft Auto 6 is at a fever pitch. People are rabid for this game. Take-Two and Grand Theft Auto, they definitely don't need Game Pass. People are going to buy that game no matter what. But at the same time, it's always so funny when Game Pass catches these random strays. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but it's like, oh, we make rational decisions, not like Xbox and Activision who want to put their games onto Game Pass. I don't know what it is, but it's like whenever people make these kinds of comments dogging Game Pass specifically, it reminds me of that comic by Adam Ellis where it's like, shut up, just let people enjoy things. No one's forcing you to put your game onto Game Pass. No one is forcing you to sign up for Game Pass. It's just an option. Like, if you want it, it's there, but if you want to just do it the old school way of buying a console and buying your game straight out, more power to you, man. And it's like, okay, what was the rational decision then that led to you firing, what, 5% of your workforce, which equates to roughly 600 people, closing down studios? What rational decision led you to, I don't know, shipping one of the worst remakes in recent memory? I mean, let's be real, I'm still gonna buy GTA 6. And who knows, maybe a couple of years down the line, it will come to Game Pass, like we've seen with previous Grand Theft Auto titles. Lastly, I want to wrap up the video talking about my experience with Valorant, the Xbox version. Now, the console version of this game was something that was teased at the Xbox Showcase this past June. Xbox made a pretty big deal out of it. I saw some ads pop up for it on my Xbox dashboard. I saw them post about it on Instagram. And while, yeah, I know this game has a lot of haters, I know it also has a very big following. So it had me thinking like, oh, could this be the next big thing on Xbox? And I gotta say, I don't really know. This was apparently one of those games that had everyone thinking like, oh, how could they ever take it from mouse and keyboard and transfer it over to controller? It's impossible. That's certainly something that was crossing my mind when they were talking about a console version of Age of Empires and these other RTS games. But it feels pretty good on the controller, and the game performance is also pretty damn good. I'm like, I feel like they could have made a console version of Valorant a lot earlier than this. It also kind of helps if you have Game Pass, you get all of the agents and all sorts of other stuff. That's pretty cool. Let's get one thing out of the way. As you could probably tell from this gameplay footage, I am cheeks at this game. Absolute freaking cheeks. When someone calls me trash in chat, like, I can't even get mad because they're right, bro. They're right. Like, I am terrible at this game. Granted, it's a lot different from the shooters that I usually play. The two shooters I have the most experience with are Halo and Overwatch. And from my understanding, because again, I'm not into those types of shooters, Valorant has often been compared to more like tactical-based shooters like Counter-Strike or Siege. It's hard getting used to like the whole being penalized for a movement thing. Like I'm used to being in Halo doing like the left, right, up and down kind of dance as you're shooting with the BR. Whereas with Valorant, they're like, no. If you do a ton of moving, you're gonna be super inaccurate. The bullet spray is gonna be all over the place. No, you just gotta hit your shots and move on. And that's something I can appreciate about it, right? Like, yeah, cover is important in Overwatch and Halo, but it's especially important in Valorant. I couldn't just run in, jump around, and go crazy. No, I really had to think about my next movements, check my six, do my reconnaissance, like around the corner, make sure no one's gonna jump me. I appreciated that aspect about it. It was a little bit like more methodical, more thoughtful. But was it fun to me? And that's the question that I am stuck on. I was playing the unranked rounds and I was like, damn, these rounds, these games, they go on forever, man. I feel like I've been in this same game for forever. And when you were an absolute dead last like I was, it feels even longer than that. I also played a lot of games where it was mostly kids, like exclusively kids playing with me. And I don't want to be that guy who's like, if I hear kids in the chat, I'm out. Kids are so annoying. Because I'm like, I was that kid, man, back in the day, playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 on my PS2, being annoying with my shitty game mic. I was a kid/teenager playing Halo 2 and 3 on Xbox Live. So I'm like, yeah, you kids, more power to you. Hang out with your friends. It's summertime. These are memories that you're gonna cherish for the rest of your life. Good for y'all. It also kind of had me feeling like, am I the target audience for this game? It's mostly kids that I'm running into, and like really angry 20-somethings. I then switched to the abbreviated game mode. I had a little bit more fun with that, and I gotta say there were moments when this game kind of got my heart pounding. Like I was the last one standing, and again, I am cheeks at this game, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the last one standing. There's one person left on the other team, and I know everyone on my team is watching me. If I die, if I mess this up, oh my god, like I'm not gonna hear the end of it from these kids, man. Luckily I hit my shots. I wish I had a clip of that, but I was like, okay, my heart's pounding a little bit. So yeah, I'm pretty bad at this game, and that probably affects my enjoyment of it, but I'm like, do I have the motivation to actually get good? If I suck at a game, but I really like it, I'll invest the time in order to get good. Like Elden Ring, for example, was my first Souls-like, and at first I was just getting clapped left and right, but eventually I rose above that, and I have multiple characters. I have become Elden Lord, hundreds of hours of playtime in this. I also think it doesn't help that I don't have anyone to play with. I'm thinking back on all of the online multiplayer games that I've liked and really gotten into in the past. Elder Scrolls Online, Overwatch, Halo. Every one of those games I had a buddy or a couple to help keep me accountable, to keep me showing up, to keep showing up to raids and grind. So I don't really know about Valorant. Yeah, it's kind of cool that it's on there, it's free, and it synergizes with your Game Pass subscription, but honestly guys, I ended up downloading Mountain Blade Bannerlord again, and I am just completely hooked into that. I stayed up until like 3:30, 4 a.m. playing this game the other night, and at this point I think I just gotta follow that instinct. What is hooking me? And Valorant, unfortunately right now, is not. Anyways guys, that's all the Xbox stuff we have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Help me get to 200K. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.